I'll try this. Uh, I appreciate you all showing up for whatever reason, and there's a lot of support in this room, and of course a lot of folks just doing their job, and you know, I talked to our team last night, and I had this grease board to work with, but I wrote 45 on the board, and which represented a number of football teams that I have coached in a row since 1970. 3 head coaching jobs in high school. I was an assistant coach at my alma mater for 14 years under 2 great men, Doug Barfield, Pat Dye, and the story of the year that I got this job is one that reverts back to January, and flew Janice and my wife and I to Marshall and interviewed for that job. And story goes that we flew in there on top of that Hilltop Airport, as you all have heard about it, because that's where the plane was that crashed with the team back in the tragedy of the Marshall football team. But we landed, and we got in a Lincoln Continental, and we in the back seat, guys driving us. We go down a winding road into Huntington, West Virginia, pull up in front of the Hilton Hotel, and I looked at Janice, and she looked at me, and I knew damn well we weren't going to Marshall. But we both went through a great interview process. I learned a lot about what college football really was supposed to be like, as far as support from administration, support from faculty, support from fans, support from the all the vendors and all the stores and all the business people, and met with all of them and learned a lot about the deal. Anyhow, went back to I think I called Lee Moon, the AD from Atlanta, on the way back home, and pulled my name out, and he hired a guy named Jim Donnan, who really did a great job there and wound up at Georgia. Anyhow, so that's sort of how my trek here began. I wanted to be a coach. 1AA was the level that I wanted to try to enter as a head coach. I'd been a head coach in high school, and I that sort of turned me on. You know, I'd worked for Barfield and Dye as assistant coaching, and I think I learned a lot from them. And the guys I worked with, you know, if I named all the names of the people that I had to get in the trench with and shoulder to shoulder with, you know, there's some pretty good guys, football guys and people along the way. And but you know, if you're learning and you're working and you know, good things happen to you. I always believe that. It reverts back to me, to Tommy White, who I played high school football for. He gave me a second job selling insurance. I could sell that policy to those young people in college that they didn't have to pay for 2 years. So that was pretty easy sell. But anyhow, I've been around a long time. This is 45 times that I've taken a team to camp. 31 as a head coach, 3 of those in high school. I think back to the McCray family, who helped me, gave me my first job at Southern Academy. Dr. Buddy Thorne, who an old Auburn guy that helped me really challenge the administration to hire me in Jasper, Alabama at Walker High. And guys like Jabbo Wagner and Bill Porter, who helped me get the job at Vestavia Hills. And then no telling how many of those same people and more worried Doug Barfield to death till he gave me an opportunity at Auburn. And then I was able to hang on with Coach Dye after he came there. And I think really the reason that happened was because he was trying to find an Auburn guy that would be on his staff, and he couldn't find one. So he a couple of months after he got there, he hired me, and I was blessed. I was there with him for 10 and 14 total, and then got this job and been here for 24. So if you add all that stuff up, it's 45, folks, any way you cut it. And so it's time for me probably to move on. And the opportunity to finish coaching this team, especially where we are at this juncture in this season, is going to be one that I hope we can make a rewarding one. I've challenged our coaches, and listen, let me say this about the years here. Players. It's all about players. It don't matter. We've had a buku of coaches here. A buku of them. I'm good ones. You know, I could go back and start naming them. I will not. But I've had calls from a lot of them. Tremendous amount of them have ascended out of here into jobs that are still in the game and still doing well. And I got a text from Tony Franklin this morning. Anyhow, he's just one of many. But we've had a bunch of coaches that have done tremendous jobs here coaching these kids, and we've had a bunch of kids. And you know, our phones have blown up for up to 48 hours here. And, you know, it has been rewarding to hear from and a bunch of players and coaches. And, you know, y'all wouldn't think it. I was very close to Wimp Sanderson, but he called me a while ago. We've been buddies for a while. We never were friends until he left Alabama. So but he's checked in with me, and we really got to close through the Jimmy Rain Great Southern Wood board and everything. But a lot of good things, a lot of good people, a lot of great players and tremendous coaches that have made the 175 wins a pleasure, you know. But let me tell you, the wins are great. The losses are awful. It's awful. It kills you. It wrenches your gut, and you try to go through your head and try to figure out what you can do as a coach to help your team win. And you know, I've challenged these players last night, sitting right where you are. Well, I don't know how long we talked, but about 30 minutes, and told them the story basically of my life. And I think we connected, and I know our guys are going to work, and I know our coaches are going to try to prepare them. Like somebody wrote me a note and said, "Hey, you ain't forgot how to coach overnight." And and I still think we are able to coach and motivate players. And so we're going to give it a run here and see what we can do. There's a lot of things still out there if we can get it done. I'm not sure. But sometimes when you're not sure, it motivates you to work harder. And I'm hoping that's what our kids will do every day on the practice field. And I'm hoping that's what our staff will do. I know they will. And I'm going to try to make sure I do my part. But at the end of the year, I'll retire as the head football coach here. I still will hopefully, and I think for sure, maintain some kind of presence at Troy, and try to help Troy University through assisting John Hartwell, our director of athletics, and Dr. Jack Hawkins, our chancellor, and any projects and whatever that I can do, you know, along the way, to make sure that I continue to be a part of this great university. And it's, Janice and I have raised 3 girls here. We came here, I think the twins were in junior high. Kelly was just entering the 9th grade, I think. And they all went to Charles Henderson, did very well. And all went to Troy University, got really good degrees. Kelly's a doctor in Montgomery now, and Tiffany's raising girls in Duluth, and Julie's pregnant, gonna have our 2nd grandson, and already got a grand girl over there. We got a quartet of girls and 1 boy, and fixing to add another boy to the mix here with Julie in Atlanta, also Smyrna. And so we're very proud of our family, and you know, we'll continue to be proud of Troy University and what we've been able to do here. And there's a lot of folks that I've already seen this morning and I've talked to most all of them that helped me get this job. And you don't just walk out there and get a college football job. you know, I hear all this stuff about a national search and all that kind of stuff. And there's a fit guy. I don't know who he is, but there's a guy that fits this place, and it will take over and make this thing run at a high rate of speed to get where this administration and board of trustees and athletic administration wants it to get. Football is big. Football is king in the South, and whether you like it or not. And you know, I love them two guys up there in baseball, and you know, I really think we got some of the greatest coaches here in the athletic department. And so, but anyhow, I'll shut the heck up, and you know, I do appreciate you all being here. My coaches are here. I'd rather you not fool with them too much because they got work to do, and I'll be available here for a few minutes, and then we'll disperse and go back to trying to win a ball game. Questions? Well, you know, I've been working on it. We've been talking about a week, and you know, you don't just jump in or out of college football. You know, you got to make sure that everybody's on board, and you know, it's what you're thinking is copacetic with every entity of the university and the athletic department and sport, and especially this sport. There's a lot of people involved in this sport. So, you know, we got to do what's best for football, in my opinion. And so, you know, no rush to judgment or anything like that. And you know, there's probably a lot of people out there who would like me to have rushed to judgment a little bit earlier, but I'm talking about following us and all that. But I think we got a lot of friends too. So, you know, I wanted to be sure that number one, I did the right thing for my family, that lady over there, and I wanted to be sure that I did the right thing for these guys in here and the guys that aren't in here, the players, and you know, that was the first two considerations in the university, of course. And so there's a lot of talking you have to do to make sure that everything's good for everybody. So we've been working on it for a little while, you know. So, you know, I don't really know as far as my particular negotiation, or whatever you want to call it, you know, discussions. It's been a little over a week to make sure that we got everything, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, or whatever. Well, you know, you don't ever know what you're going to experience. When I entered this year, I was expecting to go undefeated, and my most favorite time at work is when I know that we're going to win a game and it's over. I mean, we're out there and I know we're going to win the game. That's my most favorite time, and we hadn't experienced that this year, so. You know, but we're still working, and we still have an opportunity, and those 130 kids in here last night, whatever, they got the same opportunity, so we're going to ask them to put their best foot forward. This league, the Sun Belt, has really, especially with the expansion, has really become week in, week out as competitive as it can be. Anybody can win, anybody can lose, depending on how well you prepare and play. And that's the way I see the Sun Belt. And you know, there's probably some favorites right now. I could pick them for you. We got them still on our schedule, and so you know, I talked to Todd Berry last night. He called here, and of course they beat us by 2 points. And I told him I'd try to call him back today, but you know, he is sort of represents us with the AFC and the NCAA, but he's been a friend, and but I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's good to know that within your organization and within your big circle of people, you got a lot of folks. Our phones have blown up. Janice and I both been texting since about half the night and this morning, and that's tremendous, man. People care. People care about this program, and that's a good thing, and that will sustain this program through whatever. Larry Blakeney's been here 24 years, and he's moving on to another horizon in his life, retirement. Hey, the next guy here with the interest that the people have in this program will sustain whomever that is to greater heights, and that's what I hope for this program and the next head coach.
How much of a role do you supposed to play in picking?
I'll probably play zero in that one. If I'm asked to, as in my particular position, I will certainly do whatever I'm asked to do and express whatever opinions are asked for. I will not be trying to politic around and do anything else.
Why make the announcement at this particular time?
Well, that's a good question, cuz. I mean, where'd you come up with that question? Yeah, I figured Stacy helped you along with that one. That's a tough question, and it's one that has had a lot of thought put into it, I think, and it was time to do something, and maybe a time that with that type of announcement might be a motivator, might get some folks involved. I know there's a lot of folks involved on my phone and my email and my text the last 48 hours. So maybe we get everybody stirred up, we can get some things going. I really don't know how to answer that question.
Can you share a little bit about the meeting last night, what it was like for you?
Well, it was awesome to me. I didn't know how that would go, and I didn't want to tell coaches or players until practice was over, and for a selfish reason. I wanted them to be focused on what they were doing in preparation by the coaches and then at practice by the players, and I knew that the timeline we were on, I had to do something, but I waited until practice was over and asked the guys to go shower and get back up here in 15 minutes, and I took the coaches to a larger room back there in the back, and we talked for about 5 minutes and came in here, and then for about 30 minutes I spent with that football team, and they were locked in. And whether or not it does us any good, I don't know, but they were locked in.
24 years is a rarity to see somebody stick around that long and stick on the top level of college football.
Yeah.
How were you able to do that?
Well, there's a lot of things that I will tell you, a lot of things I won't tell you about that, but there really basically hasn't been a lot of offers out there, brother. And not that I would have jumped on any of them. Never been really a job looker. I hadn't been one to call trying to get in every job. The story about the girls and Janice and all the things, we were raising a family. We were in a good conservative college town, and a lot of things that kept me here. There probably were some opportunities out there that if I'd have really got me a sure enough hot agent and moved after them, I might have got an interview. But interviews are not necessarily what pays the bills. You get an interview and you don't do anything to make everybody mad for going and interviewing. And we were happy here, and we graduated these girls out of here, and they like to come back. And I got one that's gonna have a baby in December. She has not missed a game except Monroe, and she lives in Atlanta. So, and but this has been a good place. There's a lot of great friends. The people that hired me have been also pretty steady as far as Dr. Hawkins and his and the board of trustees. A lot of the board of trustees people are here today, and so you know, there are a lot of good reasons that I could throw out there, but I was really pretty honest with you on the front end. You know, I didn't have a lot of opportunities. Now, if Notre Dame had called me, I probably would have left. You know, and I may can get that job. No, that's Michigan that I might could get now. But I listened to that old boy on TV the other night. Man, I felt sorry for him. I really did. And but neither here nor there.
Coach, I know you've had some health stuff, you know, like this past year, you had a surgery. Did that play any role in the factor you feel?
Health? No, man. I'm blessed as far as my health. I hope I can maintain my health. If I can get Coach Wasden to make me walk every day, I'll be a lot better off. Or one of the coaches, all of them. A lot of them walk. Butler and Bolt and Shane, all those little guys. They don't walk much, but I'm. What was your question?
Seeing if you're feeling, I know you've had.
I feel good.
Yeah,
I feel good. I had a little back surgery. I ain't sure that guy did anything but just make a scar on my back. But you know, so he's a Dookie too now. He's a graduate. I really think a lot of him, but I'm dang sure not sure he did anything after he had cut me open. Now I tell you what, that doctor that worked on my foot, he did something. You know, I'm still working on that little deal. But I had me 2 high-dollar surgeons up there at the same time on one needle. How y'all feel about that? Can you get them to do that? I did. So anyhow, but I feel I feel healthy. I feel good, and probably that's a good thing. You know, with what we got some plans about family mostly, and that we'll try to do. And I feel good, and I appreciate the question. Thank you.
Do you have a greatest moment here? Is there one
you? You know, I've been asked things like that: greatest win, greatest moment. There have been some great ones as far as a coach looking at some of the things that we've been able to do as a team. Of course, you look at those pictures up there of the Missouri game, and we beat Marshall. And Missouri basically back to back are in the first 4 games, and then we go to New Mexico State and lose on a pretty tough trip. But greatest moments, Missouri wins got to be one of them. We had the top TV group in here with Holtz and Tirico and the young guy that's blowing it up now. What's his name? Kurt Herbstreit, and the one of the pretty blondes that was a sideline girl that wound up getting married and saying the heck with all y'all sideline stuff. I can't remember her name, but what was her name? Aaron. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. It wasn't Aaron Andrews. But anyhow, they had a full crew, top dollar crew in here, and it was a great evening for Troy, and really, the football program. I mean, it catapulted us into some discussions around the country, and that was a great win. And there's been a lot of great wins here and on the road, and again, Middle Tennessee. That was a good one. Oklahoma State was an awesome win. Middle Tennessee, when we're down by 2 scores with about 6 minutes left and won the game. And I stood on the sideline and I told the 2 referees, get ready, this is an onside kick. And they laughed. And so I stood, and Kendall will tell you how deep I stand, because I still make our guys do it. I stand, when we're going onside kick, I stand 18, I think it's 18, and 18, 17, 18 yards deep, and tell them to kick it at me, and try to get a high hop. So anyhow, got an onside kick, won the game. Gary Banks made a play in the end zone. You know, there's a lot of those guys now, players along the way that are forever remembered guys. In that same game, what's our safety's name that made that tackle on 3rd and 6 against Middle? You probably remember Mike, but he's from the Panhandle. Played in the pros. Is Richard in here? Say it again. Condren. Condren made a tackle on 3rd and 8. Guy breaks the line of scrimmage. He makes a tackle for about a 4-yard gain, and he was playing safety, and set us up to get the ball on the punt and take the ball in for a winning score. Bo Pittman. Anybody remember Bo Pittman? Is he? Oh, he set me up. Bo made a play against Terry Terrific and his Sanford Bulldogs right out here, 4th and 6, on about our 35, 40-yard line going in, and we were in man coverage, and they called a screenplay, and old Bo was standing right there when the guy caught it, and we got the ball and burnt the clock and beat Sanford right here. And Mississippi State was a great win on the road. The only bad thing about that win, we win 20-6, I think, against Jackie Horse Sherrill and his crowd, is that I won't call his name, but I had a guy that kept calling this pass play against 3 deep and threw it to them 3 times, and which later I fired him, but but we lose 11-8 and turn it over 6 times at Starkville again, and you know, that was a disappointing day. We should have won that game going away. Should have won the game going away. You know, but some of those games, and some of y'all remember a lot of them. And the 1AA days were terrific. I loved them. The playoffs and I think the 4-game playoffs going to be good for FBS. I'm not sure about that committee, but I think they'll try to do a good job. You know, the 1AA thing was a lot of fun after we got to it. We loaded the boat when we were Division II, a la what Abilene Christian did this year. You know, we had a bunch of transfers. We had a bunch of junior college transfers that we got eligible. I think it was around 8 of them. Kelvin Simmons just happened to be one of them. Reggie Dwight just happened to be the other one, one of the others. And we had some players. And when we lined up in 1AA, we went to the semis the first year. So after transition, and we signed about 40 guys out of high school across the South that year to sustain the program, which you can't do that in Division I because you can't divide 8 up as far as we were able to do. And we had some mathematical geniuses. I give Mark Fleetwood a lot of credit because he could add and subtract. None of the rest of us could. And so we wound up understanding how to handle the equivalency deal. Those baseball guys know how to do it. Mark knows how to do it. Facilities, period. And you know, it'll be all about recruiting as it is now, as it has been in the past. It's all about players. And if you follow Alabama or Auburn, and we're not in Alabama or Auburn yet, and of course we can't get them to play us, but when there's one project finished in athletics at one of those places, there's another one starting. So, you know, until we, I think, get to that point, not that point maybe, but to a point where we facilitate the football program as best we can in total, you know, that would be what I would hope for the next head coach at Troy football. And not only football, but, you know, if you go back to 2010, I think if you follow the track of every sport here, men's and women's, they all got new facilities. And, you know, we got this side of Davis, you know, Davis was built in 71. We got this side of Davis. I can't remember what the year was, but it winds up, we get this out of it and air condition our locker room, which wasn't air conditioned for a while, and the administrative side of Davis Fieldhouse. And the stadium, was it 1998 or something like that, Mike? When we expanded the stadium to go 1AA, it was probably somewhere in there. But you know, that to me is where we got to try to find a way to pave the way, facilitate football.
Anybody else? Yeah, I'd like to say something if I might. A little different from football. Larry's my neighbor, and I don't think a lot of you realize what a great community person he is. When he drives up the street, he never fails to stop, talk to you, wave. Thank you, God bless you, Larry. He's a great man.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.